Is Sonic Frontiers the comeback that the Blue Blur needed? Or did Sega peak with Sonic Adventure 2? We're diving deep into every Sonic game ever made, from the forgotten gems to the disasters, to finally settle the debate on which Sonic game reigns supreme. I combined Sonic the Hedgehog 4 episode 1 and 2 together because I felt like, this is pretty much the same game. I'm not gonna sell out 2 different copies of the same game. I combined Sonic 3 and Knuckles because of the lock-on technology, so I felt like they should have been pretty much the same game, and they were intended to be the same game, so I feel like it's just whatever. Anyway, no spin-offs or Game Gear games are ever going to be included in this list. I just didn't feel like including Game Gear games, and spin-offs, they're not canon, so. And no ports, so no Sonic Unleashed port for the Nokia or anything like that. Alright, with that being said, let's get into it. We're going to start it off with the classic, Sonic 1. I feel like Sonic 1's very inspirational. I feel like it's a really good game, but I can't go Super Sonic, and there's just not many levels. But it's the OGs, so it started something. Alright, let's put it at, we'll go C tier. That sounds pretty good for starters. Alright, moving on. Sonic the Hedgehog 2. So this was the first game where he could go Super Sonic. Tails' first game. I feel like this game had a lot more going for it than the first one. Alright, B tier it is. Alright, so Sonic 3 Knuckles. Sonic 3 Knuckles. It's a really good game. I don't know, this is going to make some people mad. Yeah, that's a hard one, I don't know. I'm going to go with C on this one. I wish I could just plop it in the middle. I don't know, man. I like Sonic the Hedgehog 3, but it's just not my favorite. I'm going to put it at C tier. Let's just leave it at C tier. Leave it at that. And don't worry, I didn't forget about Sonic CD. It introduced Metal Sonic, so I can't put it in the E tier. Not a banger. The level design is really clunky, and the bosses are crazy. Like, you should not have to overcome obstacles and all that crap just to fight a boss. I feel like it should be a targeted boss fight. I don't know. Just a personal opinion. Moving on. I guess we'll go Sonic the Hedgehog 4 next.
Shut up!
Let's do Sonic 3D Blast. Go ahead and get this bad boy out of the way. Sonic 3D Blast was Sonic's first 3D transition, so it feels rough to put it in the E tier. I kind of want to settle for D, just because it was not bad for the time. It was just really repetitive, man. After you got past the first world, you didn't really want to play much of it anymore. Alright, let's do Sonic Mania next. Sonic Mania, I feel like, was a really good take on a classic Sonic game. It brought a lot of newer, older fans along to the series, and it was really influential. So, Sonic Mania is going to have to go in the B tier, respectfully. Alright, Sonic 06 is next. So, as you all know, Sonic 06 was a really rushed game. They were trying to get it out for the promotional Xbox 360 near Christmas junk. Shout out to KSX for making it way better, by the way. But, since we're not talking about Project 06, and we're talking about regular Sonic the Hedgehog 06, I think we're going to sit her on the E tier. Yes, I know, it's hanging off the end a little bit. I really don't care. I'm not going to sit here and fight the scaling on this stupid chart. Sonic Superstars, we'll go ahead and do next. I feel like it was a great game. I just feel like the whole Northern Islands superpowers thing with the Chaos Emeralds was kind of dumb. I feel like it was just kind of pointless and only just level gimmick just to get through certain levels. I'm not really going to go too far into it. I just feel like it definitely could have been a lot better of a game. So we're going to put her in the D tier. I feel like that's just where it needs to rest. Sonic Lost World. Alright, so Sonic Lost World, it was one of the first areas in the Sonic genre to not really have a boost mechanic and have more of a parkour mechanic, free running mechanic. And a lot of people they liked the mechanic, but a lot of people didn't like the way that the game turned out. Like, why do you have to hit a button to run? Why do you have to mash the R button to run? Alright, fine, I fixed Sonic 06. Alright, moving on. And Sonic Rush next. So Sonic Rush was a really good game. I feel like it was kind of held back by the DS's hardware at the time, but that's not really on the devs. So we're going to put that in the C tier. Still not yet a game to hit the A tier. Alright, Sonic Unleashed next. So Sonic Unleashed is a really good game. That it was one of the first, I think, if not the first, boost Sonic game. And a lot of people say it was held back by the Werehog mechanics and stuff, and that it was kind of a slower paced attack-based game at night. And I agree with that to a certain extent, but I also feel like you got to give the game a chance, man. Like, it was trying to be something different. It was trying to be something unique, and I feel like a lot of people actually were picking up what they were putting down. It wasn't appealing at the time. With that being said, I'm going to put Sonic Unleashed in the B tier. Another thing, too, is I really don't like how it was held back by those Sun and Night Moon metal things, whatever. Next up, Sonic Heroes. So Sonic Heroes is definitely a childhood favorite of mine. I played it a lot on the GameCube, and I feel like it's definitely slept on a little bit because of the mechanics and whatnot, and the fly, power, and speed. But I feel like it was really trying to be something different along with Unleashed, and that's kind of why I put them after each other. I feel like they're trying to be something different, and you gotta respect that. So I'm gonna put it at least a C rank. Sonic Heroes, C tier. Moving on. And I think last up on this half would be Sonic Forces. So Sonic Forces is, it's another one of those games that's trying to be something different, but it just didn't hit that goal. So I've openly taken up for Sonic Forces on my TikTok. After Real Jeremiah Cake. I don't know. I feel like it's a good game. I just feel like they could have done a little more with the create your own character mechanic. Yeah, we're gonna go. I don't want to put it in E tier because I've already said it's not a bad game. It just needed a little more, less linear. It needed more progression, I guess. I don't know. All right, we're gonna go D tier. Next up, Sonic Advanced, and we'll just go ahead and get all three of them out of the way while we're at it. So Sonic Advance 1, we're gonna put in the E tier. I just feel like it was a really good game, but it didn't really have too much going for it, and I feel like that's respectful. It was their first time making a ported game to the Game Boy Advance, so I'm just gonna bundle Advance 2 and 3 together in the D tier, just because they're pretty much the same game. Yeah, Advance 2. I know it's a little harsh, but I mean, Advance 1, 2, and 3, I mean, they were pretty much the same game, just different characters and different levels. Yeah, it's just a personal opinion. I feel like Sega just kind of said, hey, we can make the same game 3 times and keep selling it. I don't know. Moving on, we're going to go ahead and do the Sonic Adventure series, starting with Sonic Adventure 1. So Sonic Adventure 1 was Sonic's first full transition in 3D, I would say. Easily A2. That game was just so awesome to play as a kid, man. It just had so much going for it. I stand on it. Sonic Adventure 2. We're going to go B tier. I feel like the treasure hunting, having to do it twice, and the mech stages is kind of, I don't know, man. Wasn't a big fan. Moving on. So next we got Shadow the Hedgehog. And I really feel like Shadow the Hedgehog was unique, and it was a really cool game to play for me at the time. I feel like it had a lot going for it just because it was something different, man. Like something way different than Sega had ever implied into a game before. I don't know. It was very unique. I guess I get that it's a little edgy. They could have done the whole Shadow holds a gun thing a little better, but it is what it is. I'm standing by B tier. Alright, next we have Sonic Colors. Now Sonic Colors is a really unique game, and it does have some really good 2D platforming, but I really just, it's not for me. I don't like transforming into 5 different wisps to complete the level. Like, I don't know. The original game itself just is not for me. We're going to leave that baby in the E tier. Sonic Colors E tier. I want to say this before we get too far into it. I left Sonic X Shadow Generations and Sonic Generations kind of in the same category, just because they're canonically they happened at the same time, so I feel like it'd be kind of weird to just throw them out in 2 different. But anyways, I would rank them both the same either way. And I feel like Sonic Generations capitalized on a lot, but I feel like it was very linear. I feel like it wasn't very challenging for experienced Sonic players, and I feel like that's not an unpopular opinion at all. With that being said, I'm going to put it in the C tier, mainly because Shadow X... I'm going to put it in the C tier. Mainly just because Shadow X Generations aims to fix a lot of that, makes it a little more complex to play, and I feel like that's a good experience. I think the only game I haven't touched here yet is Sonic Frontiers. Now, I've also stated this on my TikTok before. I feel like Sonic Frontiers played a big part in saving the franchise. People weren't really focused on Sonic in the game life, so I feel like whenever Frontiers came out, it just kind of shifted everybody's focus more towards the games. With that being said, Frontiers, easy A rank. And there we have it. That was a lot of ranking. Let me know in the comments if I missed any games, or if there was anything that y'all saw that was kind of outrageous, or anything like that. I think with that being said, though, that's all for now. Hope y'all have a good one. Peace.